Hi everyone, my name is Moses and I'm the lead pastor at Neuma Church. I just wanted to take a minute to welcome you. Here at Neuma Church, we are rooted in God's love and grace, and we believe that God has a unique design for each person and wants to tell an amazing story through each and every life. Our mission is to empower next generation leaders to live a vibrant God story. We believe in breathing life and hope into others so they can be all God created them to be. And I just want to pray that as you watch this service, you are encouraged and filled with God's truth and hope today. Our service will be about 20 to 30 minutes long, and we have provided some great questions at the end for you to discuss in order to better apply God's truth and grow in your faith. Enjoy the service.
People come together, strangers, neighbors, our blood is one. Children, generations, of every nation, kingdom come. So don't let your heart be trouble. Hold your head up high, don't fear no evil. Fix your eyes on this one truth. God is madly in love with you. So take courage, hold on, be strong. Remember where our help comes from. Oh, swing wide, all you heavens, let the praise go up as the walls come down. All creation, everything with breath, repeat the sound. All his children, clean hands, pure hearts, good grace, good God. His name is Jesus. Swing wide, all you heavens, let the praise go up as the walls come down. And all creation, everything with breath, repeat the sound. And all his children, clean hands, pure hearts, good grace, good God. His name is Jesus. One more time. Swing wide, all you heavens, let the praise go up as the walls come down. All creation, everything with breath, repeat the sound. And all his children, madly in love with you. So take courage, hold on, be strong. Remember where our help comes from. I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. In all my days I'm held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up till I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in the darkest night. You are close like no other, and I've known you as a father, I've known you as a friend, and I have lived in the goodness of God all my life. All my life you have been faithful. My life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. Every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause your goodness is running after me. 'Cause your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. So all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of God.
We are continuing to share our Neuma story with all of you in the following weeks as the members of our church share powerful testimonies and a verse that has had a transformative impact on their lives. This week we have Isaac Neese sharing his story and life verse. What I really appreciate about Isaac is his joyful and life-giving attitude. He just has a real deep hunger for God, and his love for God's truth is evident to all. Isaac has a true call of leadership upon his life, but he is a servant leader, and he makes everyone around him better. God's just put in him this incredible way of putting people at ease, and he also loves to laugh and have a good time. I pray God draws you close and brings needed change to your heart as you hear Isaac share today.
Proverbs 21:31. The horse is made ready for the day of battle, but the victory belongs to the Lord. Hello there. My name is Isaac Neese, and I'm on the Neuma Church team. Today I'm going to be talking about how my life verse brought meaning to my life and helped me understand God in a greater capacity. Ever since I was young, I thought that loving and serving God meant logically proving his existence in my mind and convincing others of that too. I would get really into the Answers in Genesis curriculum, and I started studying things like the rate at which the ocean filled up with salt and the faint sun paradox. I would argue with my friends about why it was pointless to not believe in a God, and in my one and only semester of college, I argued with one of my secular professors about the existence of God during class. Then, a little over a year ago, God started to pull me deeper into my faith. He started to really challenge me to rely more on faith than on logic, or at least the term in a worldly sense. I started to struggle with what my purpose was on earth. I would get split between God, my marriage, and work, and then I wouldn't end up fully applying myself to any of them. Our God is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent, meaning he has unlimited power, knows everything, and is everywhere. And on the one hand, that can be super comforting because I know that same God is on my side. But on the other hand, why does he need me? I mean, he created the entire universe and he still wants to use me. I guess I should have felt honored, but I couldn't logically wrap my head around what strategic advantage God gained by using me. There are many times in the New Testament where Jesus calls his disciples to share the gospel with everyone on earth. For example, Mark 16:15, and he said to them, "Go into all the world and proclaim the gospel to the whole creation." Or John 20:21, Jesus said to them again, "Peace be with you as the Father has sent you, even so I am sending you." These are just two excellent examples of this. While this appears to be relatively straightforward, and in hindsight it is, I struggled with understanding these passages, not because they were confusing, but because they seem to be contradicting other verses in the Bible. For example, Ephesians 1:5 says God decided in advance to adopt us into his own family by bringing us to himself through Jesus Christ. This is what he wanted to do, and it gave him great pleasure. So God calls me to share the gospel with everyone, but then he says that he's already adopted his children in advance. This seemed inconsistent. If he had already adopted part of the world as his children in advance, why does he need me to share the gospel? So even though I was struggling to understand why I needed to share/live the gospel, I settled for sharing it because Jesus said I should, and that should be enough, even if I don't fully understand it. However, this led to other problems. In my world, if something didn't logically make sense, I would dismiss it. So as a result of that, I wouldn't fully give myself over to worship. Why would I? I was living a false gospel void of feeling and purely defined by logic. I started to develop unhealthy habits that I would try to find worldly solutions for. Then, one morning I was doing my routine Bible time, and I stumbled upon Proverbs 21:31. The horse is made ready for the day of battle, but the victory belongs to the Lord. It immediately stood out to me, and I'd like to say because it was immediately impactful, but it was mainly because it had to do with battle, and I thought that was cool. But because of that, I couldn't stop thinking about it. When a knight rides into battle on his horse, no one praises the horse for its strength. In fact, aside from the knight, the horse has no purpose. On top of that, the knight does not need the horse to win a battle. The victory belongs to the knight. Yet the knight still raises, loves, and prepares the horse for battle. The knight pours countless hours into the horse. To use a nerdy example of this, in The Lord of the Rings, Aragorn is not a great king because of the horse he rode into battle with. Gandalf is not a great wizard because of his horse Shadowfax. And, of course, there are obviously many real-world examples of this, such as Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, and Napoleon Bonaparte, who are known for being some of the most iconic military leaders of all time, and they were not great leaders because of their horses. In fact, no one even knows who their horses are. This really stood out to me. I am the horse. I was looking at it all wrong. It's not about me. I'm not the knight. It's about God. But I get to participate. The truth is, God doesn't need me. He was perfectly content with himself before he created the universe, but he wants to use me as part of his great plan. Even though he is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent, he chooses to use me. This shifted my whole perspective, to know that the God of the universe wants to use me, despite me not providing a strategic advantage. Another amazing example of this is the creation of life. God has demonstrated that he can create life from nothing. He doesn't need anyone to help him with the process, yet when a man and a woman get married, they get to partake. God isn't optimizing the creation of life by involving humans. If anything, he's slowing it down astronomically. But he loves us so much that he wants us to be a part of his plan. God has shown me that it really isn't about me and what my strengths bring to the table. It's all about him, and yet I still get to play a part. I still get to ride into battle, just not as the knight, which honestly I'm okay with. I don't want to bear the burden of having to know that other people's salvations rely solely on how well I share the gospel with them. Through this, God has taught me that I can rely on him for everything, even if I can't logically sort it out in my head.